And we're live, I
Woo!
think. This has been a heck of an evening for technical issues, but welcome in, everybody. I am one of your GMs, Anita. This is Time and Time Again on the Critical Misses channel. And what else do I have to say? But we are here. It is the finale. And I've got a bunch of lovely people here that are playing some wonderful characters. And I'm going to let them do their introductions, starting with D.
Oh, hello. My name is Dee. I'm a lovely person that uses any pronouns that you best feel fit the energy that you're getting off of me. And tonight, I'm playing for the final time Donnie Powers, whose pronouns are he, him.
All right, next up, Nikki.
Hello, I am Nikki, and tonight I will be playing our speaker, Gidget Kelly, and we both use she, her pronouns.
Heck yeah. Chase.
Hello, everybody, denizens of the Twitter now new Xverse, and Twitch and all of that jazz. I am Chase Beck, and I will be playing our very weird explorer man, Paxton Willamette, Patrick Guillory, whatever you want to call him. Uh, he's either here to save the space-time continuum or die trying. Either way, oh boy, it's gonna be a ride.
Heck yeah. And last but not least, we've got May.
Hi everyone, I'm May. My pronouns are she, they, and I will be playing the wonderfully whimsical, there's another W word, warrior Finley and Enox, whose pronouns are she, her.
Awesome. And hey, Darby, who are you?
Who am I? I don't know. Hello, hi, my name is Darby, otherwise known as Chaotic Darby on the internet, and I am the other GM for this wonderful, wonderful game. I will be playing, and of course, who could possibly forget? So, I use she, they pronouns, and I'm very excited for this little ending for a little story here.
And as I mentioned before, possibly, hi, I'm Anita. My pronouns are also she, they, and I am your other co GM for this wonderful adventure. And I'm very excited to bring all these wonderful stories with these wonderful people to a close. But before that, let's dive into our trailer, shall we?
Roll that beautiful photo one more time.
Roll it, roll it, roll it.
And we're back. Welcome back, everybody. Darby, do you want to take us away with a previously on?
Previously on Avatar. Last time our party were trapped in this library or saved in this library and exploring the books and possibilities of solutions. Finley went to a strange place and met somebody who seemed to know her but was new to her and introduced her to the same sword that she had but I guess had just met for the first time again. Many first meetings and old meetings happening over and over again. Finley was told that they needed to find the sword at a later time, but that the sword will have always known her now. Looking through my notes real quick. Wow, I can read. Donnie traveled through some memories of not their own, but of Amelie's, seeing Amelie during different stages of her life, learning things about her, and bringing her not as a papery vision in the back of Donnie's mind, but as an actual person visible to not just Donnie, but everyone else around them. And of course, Gidget took a dive through different memories, following becoming her seal as Selkie self and diving deep down into memories of her own, following her life, life well lived, to find something, a gift from someone to her. All three of these players found wonderful, powerful items that hopefully will help them in their next task of defeating Drexos. As they emerge from these books and find that many of them have gone missing, and the worlds that they are on, Vertex, is cracking and falling apart. That's where we left off.
And somewhere in between there, Paxton disappeared into a book after stating that he knew how to fix the tower. Paxton, you find yourself at the ruined base of the Tower of Time, with a book in your hand. What do you do? Your friends are nowhere to be seen.
Okay. Oh God. Okay. God. It's really been a couple of weeks, so I'm just trying to remember of just like the symbols and everything of just sort of like, um, I know there was some talk about just like different symbols and whatnot about just sort of like.
So you currently have the construction rune that the starry aliens had shown to you. That's currently in the back of the book, and you sort of open the book to that page, and you see the glyph for the construction of the tower,
Mm-hmm.
and there's words there that weren't before.
Uh-huh. I I take a look at that.
It says, "This will only work if you admit what you've been missing."
Cryptic. It's only me in there, right?
Yep, you're by
Okay.
yourself at the base of a ruined
By
tower.
by myself.
Mm-hmm.
Admit what I've been missing. Can I make a roll to determine if that's literal, like physical missing, or like metaphorical, like just sort of like a just like a deeper meaning to missing? Like I want to read into that.
Okay, make me an intellect test. It's
Intellect
going to
test
be
coming.
a difficulty of 3, so you'll need a 9 or higher.
Okay. That is a 4.
Hard to tell.
Damn. Damn these ancients who I supposedly have already met. um Only work if I admit what I've been missing. So he just sort of like scratches at like his head for a minute, just like trying to just
I
really
mean,
like piece that. I
if you
mean,
like, you could start putting together the circle. It's up to you what you'd like to do.
yeah, no, he's gonna start like putting that together, that circle, and just sort of like as he's like going through it, he's just sort of like it can't be that easy. And just sort of like he goes to like just like looks at his prosthetic arm and just sort of like, uh, this? Waits for a response. Anyone?
Your voice kind of echoes in this space.
All right. He just keeps drawing the circle then.
So you make the circle, you begin to start to fashion these glyphs and these runes into the ground. What's on your mind as you're building this?
He's still a bit just like a part theorem. Part of it is on the theory, and a big part of it is on what do you mean that these two of like the two like caretakers that he's talked with before have already met him. So that's just like a big thing. It's just sort of like, as in, has he already done this before, or is it just sort of like, is this just like how all knowing are they truly to know that he can really do this? So a bit self doubt, a bit questioning, and a bit let's just see what this goes.
Okay. You finish the last of these symbols, and it looks like it matches.
Mm-hmm. He just, let's give it a whirl. He doesn't know if there's like some sort of incantation or something, but just
So you remember that the creatures placed their hands on this,
yeah, uh-huh,
on the sides, and then it began to build.
okay. He places both hands on the side and just does as such.
Sure. What's going through your mind as that happens?
He's praying that this works, hoping that just sort of like part of it is just like it can't be that easy, and part of it is hoping, please let it be this easy.
There's that moment where you're just like, I almost that same sort of nagging self-doubt that's always been in your mind sort of takes hold, and you're like, please let this work. You place your hands on the side and it begins to start to construct itself. And then it crumbles.
Just sort of like goes like he again, just like more, just like this time more emphasis on just sort of like you just like even like mentally saying you will be built, you will be constructed. Just like, come on.
There's that point of desperation, and it gets a little taller, and then it crumbles. What you have always been missing. Just those words illuminated on the page.
He just sort of looks at it, just like he looks at it and just sort of like he doesn't know whether to yell or to shout, just like give me an answer or something, but he's just I don't know. I miss, you know, I miss when I had a family that actually gave a crap about being a family. I miss guidance. I miss that.
You say
I miss him.
family, and sort of, and standing at the edge of the circle is your brother.
He's very awestruck and just sort of like has to rub his eyes just a little bit, just sort of like that can't be him.
He's standing as you remember him. Taller than you, almost larger than life, but you realize now that you're about the same age that he was when your family lost him. He looks exactly as he did the last time you saw him. There's that almost larger than lifeness that's almost, now that you see him here in this sort of stark, he's just a person like you. No heroic nostalgia. He looks at you.
I stand. He stands. Just immediately, just sort of like that sense of just,
About the same height, actually.
yeah. Even if they are the same height, there's still that aura of just a brother who really needed someone to be there for him when he wasn't, appears. And he's trying to fight back tears. He's trying to stand rigid, but at the same time, something's crumbling. And
You sort of, you're placed on cardinal ends of this circle. Where do you need me?
points over to like the other end of the circle.
I
And
don't know
just
how
sort of,
much help I'm going to be. This whole thing, like magic, arcane stuff, not usually my bag, man. I was always better with a sword than a wand.
well, one of us had to get the arcane side of things from mom. And well, you know, yeah, and he just sort of like stutters, just, have I lost it? It is, it's you, right?
He sort of thinks for a second. I'm here because of you. That's all I guess a life is, right? Once everything's said and done. I can help where I can. But Paxton, you never needed me. I mean, you did need me. There were times. But I could never be what you needed me to be. Does that make sense? You were always better at a lot of different things than me. There are things that even I didn't get figured out before the end.
You practically had a lot of things handed to you on a silver platter, and then
Listen, that made things easier, but it didn't make things better. Do you have any idea the kind of expectations I had to live up to?
I mean the ones that were thrust onto me, and
I
then
mean,
immediately
I
left
have
as
no
soon as
idea of what it would be like to live in. I just know how our dad was. And I know what he expected of me. And I couldn't even imagine what he would expect of you after. But for guidance, man, you know what you need, Paxton. And I think you always knew what you were missing. It's faith, Paxton. Not in me, not in what I believed in, not in what I stood for. It's in what you can do. And it's not about what dad wanted or what mom wanted. Fuck them both.
he lets out just a tiny laugh. Just
What do you want, Paxton?
I want to fix this goddamn space-time shit. I want to get us the hell out. I want to get all of us the hell out of here.
Mm-hmm.
I want to continue my studies, and I want to make. I want to etch my name in the time books of history, so that way that, and just do what you did.
Man, you still try to follow after me. That's
You
admirable,
kind,
but silly.
you kind of set the golden standard. So,
Listen, end of the day comes, you have to do what's going to make you happy. And if following after me is going to make you happy, then do it. But if it's not what you actually want out of life, don't worry about it. Do what's going to make you
eh,
happy. And the first step, I think, is going to be figuring out you. Man, figuring out you. Forget gold standards. If you can live a life that you're proud of, then that's good enough.
he he runs over and hugs him.
He hugs back. No,
Just
this only works if you believe it will work. This only works if you believe in the power you have.
he goes over to
Never say die,
circle again.
Paxton.
He looks over at his brother. My name is Patrick Guillory. Paxton Willamette, whatever you want to call it. My father was a monster hunter. My father before him was a monster hunter. My brother, Jarek, he was a monster hunter. I feared fighting those things so much because I thought that it would lead to my death. It took you away.
Your
Nearly
brother,
took that away.
as you say, it took
And
you
I've been
away. He vanishes.
And I've been running away from my family so much that I always thought that being related to them meant I was going to die. That's why I changed my name. And now I stand here, scared, still trying to figure it out. And if this is where I die, then at least I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And make sure that everyone else gets to live. And he slams his palms back on the circle.
What's going through your mind right now?
Determination. Hope for his friends. Hope that if he can put every ounce of his belief, if he can toss away his fear of death, the fear of having to carry his family name, that the thought that the name Guillory being with him means that he will die in early life, he tosses that aside because the one thing right now is to restore everything, to make sure that he can do he can, for the first time in his life, not run away from action, but be the cause of it and hope for a change, for something that he can do.
Each of these thoughts begins to build, stone upon stone, row upon row, brick by brick. This tower begins to construct, and there is that small creeping moment as it hits the top where you think, this might not work. But you push it from your mind, and the tower reconstructs itself. Tall. Exactly as it was.
He looks up at it. He looks back at where his brother was. He looks back at the book. Is there anything new inscribed in it, or is it still the same?
With grit and determination, Patrick Guillory rebuilt the tower, and himself in the process. You find yourself back in the library. Donnie, Gidget, Finley. You see Paxton reform.
Am I a seal right now? I can't remember.
You are a seal right now.
Yeah, I think you're a seal. You're like flying through the air.
Mhm.
You've got your.
There's a seal, Donnie, and Finley.
And I'm
I just
throwing the
like
seal
roll
like a
over and do
torpedo.
this.
Paxton, you're back in the library, this book in your hand. And which hand are you holding the book with?
The right hand.
Is that the
Left is artificial. Left is the
Mhm.
prosthetic. Right is the
the
flesh.
right is holding the book. In your left hand, you feel that there's something in there.
Oh, he opens his palm.
Two things. You open your palm
Mm-hmm.
and you find inside of it a little vial.
Uh-huh.
The second thing is that your arm is different.
Oh.
It's not the arm that you knew. It is now covered in clockwork machinery,
Oh,
gears and cogs turning, but flush is still flush to its form, but you can see there's some depth to it, almost like it goes further than your arm is wide, almost further than your arm is deep. But you see cogs and gears turning, a slight whir as it turns.
what's in the vial? Is it just a regular vial, or is there something inside of it?
There's a liquid inside.
Mm.
I believe Anita is sending you the
I'm
stats for this
sending you
item,
the stats
as
for
well
that
as
right now.
your cipher.
It is a level 4.
So, for the rest of you, as Finley is throwing
And,
torpedo Gidget.
There is one more thing that you have in your hand as well.
Oh yes.
Other than the vial, you also have it looks like a pocket watch.
Hmm.
Um,
I obviously I daintily put the vial in my pocket, and then I opened the pocket watch to see if there's anything like inscribed in it, or is it just a basic pocket watch?
it looks like a standard pocket watch, and I'm just gonna send you the stats for it right now as well.
Oh man.
There you go. You will have to break the pocket watch in order for it to work, though.
Oh wow. Hold on.
And as your arm, it almost begins to sort of try and reconfigure itself in certain ways. If you focus on it enough, it can reconfigure into something. But yes,
Mhm.
there is your arm.
That's my arm.
The gears in it can reconfigure into something.
Oh, ooh. Also, forgive me for asking. Where did you send the ciphers again?
Check the Zoom chat.
Oh, Zoom chat. Thank you. Okay.
I do believe that you may have accidentally sent those to me, Anita.
Oh, apologies. That's what I get.
Amelie's giving you a peek behind the veil.
Right, yeah. I'm always just like, hey.
There's
Take a
that.
look at these.
There is that.
Ooh.
And
Oh, that is. Oh.
this
For
is
the rest of you,
the arm.
as Paxton reemerges, looking around, there is something different about this library. If you'll recall in the end of the episode, Amelie talked about the worlds cracking and falling apart. And as you look around this library, books are missing and growing and shrinking. You see some of them glitching in and out of existence as the books in this library are changing and flickering. Something is happening.
So I'm going to assume I'm not the only one who feels that.
I can't talk, so I just.
Orf, 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 orf.
I honestly think at this point, Finley is like throwing you and then sprinting to catch you, and then repeating the
myself.
process. So, I
As
mean, Finley sees all this then?
You all do.
You pass
Yeah,
by a
there's
stack
some
of
weirdness.
books, Finley, and as you run back the opposite direction, trying to catch Gidget again, that stack of books is not there anymore.
Ugh. I think it like stops her up for a second, and then she stops throwing Gidget There was
something.
books that were there that aren't there now.
Yes, I think this place might be falling apart.
We already broke a thing. They're gonna get real mad if we break another thing.
Well, I don't think this one is our fault. I think it's because, the world is splitting apart. We should probably engage in the next facet of our plan.
Gidget
Right.
comes out of seal form.
Did everyone notice me just sort of like Terminator spear like back into existence, or was just like everyone just sort of like
Yeah, but everyone else had already done that, so we're kind of used to it.
Okay,
So it's
all
like-
I mean, I'm a giant
Yeah.
fucking seal, so like
Yeah.
snapping
Yeah.
into existence isn't really.
Okay, fair enough. And considering our last few adventures in here, yeah, that makes all right. Fair enough.
Right. So, what is the next part of the plan? Oh, I'm not exactly the ideas guy.
Yes, so that brings me to my next point of what should we do next? The tower is rebuilt, I would assume, since Paxton has rejoined us, as you said.
It just sort of snaps his finger, just like, yep.
The sword, we were told to wait a bit, right? On that?
When it's ready.
Yes, like when you're ready, we could move that. Hold on, I'm having a thought.
You were told, Finley, you were told that you would have to, you would have to, find, you would need to take the sword from a different moment in time and then give it to your younger self and keep the scabbard.
That's right.
Right,
Okay,
right.
so we got to go to a different time to get the sword, to go to then another time that's different to give me the sword. I really don't like thinking about this. I'm gonna be so honest right now.
I think it's easier to lean into actions than theorem with this.
Okay, then let's go to a different time to get the sword. And we need the
All
scabbard
right.
too.
Okay. When did you? So the scabbard would still be in the lake. Yes. Correct me if that's wrong.
The scabbard is not in the lake.
Right.
And I believe Amelie actually mentioned that she knew of a time when the sword and the scabbard were
Right.
together and unattended.
I'll look over to. I would assume that her physical manifestation is still
Yep,
in
she's
the library
still
with
hanging
us.
out with you.
I'll look over to Amelie and say, "Well, I guess you can point us to the right time, and we can take it from there."
This way. And takes you to a book on a pedestal that says The Sealing of Drexos.
As we're sort of walking over, I'll just tap Paxton's wrist and say, "Upgrade?"
Just sort of looks over and just sort of like, yeah, you could say that.
And I suppose flip open the book once everyone is ready.
Yep, just not. Yeah.
I'll throw it open.
Oh,
See on the pages before you. A ritual circumvented, now comes the sealing of a great evil. And you are all pulled into the pages and you look up and you see Iris and Lens that backs to you, pushing, almost Iris pushing with their hands as Lens is carving into the ground symbols and sigils very familiar to you, Finley, as they begin to glow orange as these circles are being carved into the floor of a dark, dark hall as Iris's hands push and push and push Drextos further and further in on himself, almost like he's folding and curling into a smaller and smaller shape. into a sphere as a circle is close to completion. You see Amelie off to the side, put a finger to her lips, and point off to the side. You see a discarded sword and scabbard.
Oh, I think it's Tippy Toes time.
Can I cast distortion on all four of us?
Yeah.
Wait, can you describe what we're seeing real quick again? I'm sorry.
You're seeing a big, dark, cavernous room, kind of scorched floors, and you're seeing Iris and Lens, their backs to you, as they're focusing their attention, one, Lens on carving symbols into the floor that are beginning to glow orange, Iris pushing Drexos into a smaller and smaller shape. He's becoming a ball. He is orbifying. He's become orbed, pondering this orb, and it appears that they are sealing Drexos away.
Ah, this one.
A younger, less tired looking Isaac.
Ooh, okay.
So to distortion, we're not going to talk about how low this takes my intellect pool, but it allows me to modify a willing creature's reflection of light for 1 minute, so that we're harder to see. Kind of like a pass without a trace type vibes. Um, okay, I'm still
Ooh,
below
okay,
half,
nice.
but I'll take it. Sick. Awesome. Great. Love it. So
Oh,
yeah, I just Danny, Lord. Donnie just sort of like closes the eyes and focuses, because his I would assume that my magical focus of the ring, which is magical because of what lives in it, is not exactly functioning as a proper focus at the moment. Hmm. That's fair. That's fair. Oh, the other way. So Donnie,
On the thing. Uh, so apologies, I had myself muted on there because I was coughing.
mhm.
Hey, um, so you have your arcane focus is literally standing right next to you, and
true.
so you only used a quarter of your pool, of your intellect pool.
Awesome. So Donnie will sort of like close his eyes real tight to focus on this spell casting. And as he does it, and it feels like more and more like it's not as difficult as he was expecting, he sort of like looks over to Amelie and just gives her a nod of thanks.
So now it's back. All right,
Um,
we gotta move quickly.
yeah, of course. Um, let's go.
All right, Scooby Doo
Start making
gang.
our way toward the sword.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna ask for some. I'm gonna ask for some speed tests. This was going to be difficulty 4, so you would have needed a 12 or higher, but the distortion field does ease that, so that way you only need a 9 or higher.
The distortion field.
Yeah. Yeah. And if
Love
you
it.
have anything like stealth, that does reduce it further, that would ease it another 1.
Does escaping count?
I mean, you're escaping notice.
That's why I like you.
I could spend a point from my speed pool to bring it down 1
Yeah.
because I rolled an 8.
Okay, so that means you just need a 6 or higher, so that's a success.
I rolled an 18.
I rolled
I'm
a
sorry.
19.
I'm just gonna roll. Come on, be good to me. That is another 4.
Another 4. Okay. A 4. You all begin.
Can we?
No, go ahead.
Can we? So for a player intrusion,
Mm-hmm.
could I do one of those
If you
now?
have an experience point, absolutely you can.
I do have one more, and it's fitting that I use it to help Paxton because Paxton is the one who gave this to me.
Oh.
I'm going to use my advantageous malfunction. So, like, in the moment that Paxton is about to, uh, like kick over a cup or something like that, something happens that grabs everyone's attention to let him slip under the radar.
Okay. Ooh, that's good.
Nice.
Now what would uh Amelie and Isaac are over to the side having a sort of this small moment of quiet before everything goes terribly wrong again. You all begin to stand and try to move as this cohesive unit towards the other side of this room to try and steal this sword. And as this quiet moment begins to sort of, you see Paxton begins to stumble on something. But at that moment, Amelie, the Amelie from the past, sort of stands up and and brings Isaac to a foot and says, "There's still more things that need to be fixed before we finish our work here," and sort of starts to address everybody else. Uh, is sort of like she looks to the side, uh, not at Paxton, but she looks at Amelie, at the other Amelie, and they sort of look at each other. There's that moment, and she sort of nods. Can I get everyone's attention? Are we almost? We're almost done with the ritual for sealing Drexos, and Iris says, "Just about, just about have it. Just one more. All right. Once we're done, we need to have another talk." Um, and then she takes Isaac's hand. I need to talk to you outside for a moment. Isaac and Amelie leave the room. And Paxton, you are unnoticed. Iris and Lens are very about their work right now.
They don't really believe in a work-life balance.
No.
Thank you. Oh, thank you, Donnie.
There's a sword that needs to be collected, and a scabbard.
I want to grab. I want the sword and scabbard, please. I like it.
I was gonna say, it's just
If
like
anyone else tries to grab that sword, Gidget gets in the way and makes sure
Oh.
Finley gets to.
I was gonna say, I look over at Finley and just sort of like, after that near save, just sort of look over at Finley and just sort of like, I believe you should do the honors.
Mm-hmm. It knows me, so. And she goes and just sort of reaches out, and it's like almost a little gentle with it, because now she understands the might behind it. So it's a little bit more intimidating this time around than just, cool, neat sword. It's jammed in some rocks in the water. Neato, it's free. Like,
It's free real estate. You
Truly.
grab the sword, and for you, it was just a few minutes ago when you last held the sword. But you can see, and so you can see clearly differences, the change that has been made to the sword by Drexos, where once it's almost, the sword almost buzzed and hummed with life and energy. It's creaking, almost stiff. There's wires and different metal, almost like fused onto the sword in places that don't feel right. As you hold this sword, is the sword that you knew as a child when you grabbed it. It's the same, but different than the one that you left with Orion. And a scabbard. The same.
maybe I can fix it. Maybe it just needs some love. But this is the sword, so let's get out of the room we shouldn't be in. I think she makes some like vague SWAT-like hand signals that she learned in her warrior tactics class that no one else is in, so she's the only one that understands it. But it makes sense for the most part. To kind of just maybe get back to the library with it.
Mother help!
Where are they taking me?
Do I see the little kid version of me? Dang it,
Right.
I'm adorable.
A second, I keep muting myself because I'm sick, and so I don't want to cough in the microphone.
I always forget to unmute in OBS.
It's my bane tonight. Apparently, it's okay. Whisper strategy. As you say, let's get out of this room we're not supposed to be in. You find yourself on the beach. Repeating for the. No, you're good.
Right. So,
And you do see a mini version of Finley.
child, you found this in the water, is that correct?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I believe it's my turn then.
Makes sense.
Oh. Oh. I should still huck it into the water, right?
I think it might be more subtle if you let me take it.
Oh.
Paxton, you look over your shoulder as this is happening, and you see another version of yourself standing just a little farther back.
Oh, that's fun. Does he have the clockwork arm as well, or is it that just
It's
was that before?
it's a more recent. It's the older version of your arm.
Oh, okay, all right. Oh
He has
yeah,
a
because we
book in
did.
his hand.
Yeah, that's right. Because we did that prior to. There we go.
It's almost like I'm thinking about these things.
All
Nick's almost writing this stuff.
right.
Once Finley's on the same page, Gidget walks herself to the edge of the water because I don't know if you guys have seen seals on land. They move real funky.
Oh,
So
yeah.
graceful and so graceful in the water, real funky on land. So she gets to the edge of the water and turns back into her little leopard seal self and opens her mouth for the sword.
I think Finley takes it out of the scabbard and then like I guess make sure that none of the little kids are watching because that would be really weird.
The
And then
kids are all busy with their games. Like there's a couple in the water that are playing mermaids.
yeah, classic games. Yeah, that makes sense. And just sort of very gently places the sword like in your mouth so that way it doesn't cut you, but then keeps the scabbard on.
And then I'll swim. And then I think what she does is she kind of swims towards little kid Finley and kind of like tickles her foot. It drops the sword and then swims away.
There's like a it's like little Finley. Oh, and you see, you come back to the rest of the group, unseal yourself, pop out of seal form, and the rest of you watch as little Finley he gets like a little there's a little something, and then looks curiously at the water and begins to dive downwards, and comes up with a sword. This is so cool!
In my mind, she's also missing her front teeth for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
You've got like band-aids on like most of your fingers, and not just one. It's like 4 on like one finger.
Mm-hmm.
Scraped knees.
This is a kid who climbs trees for sure.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
She cut her own hair. It does not look good.
I'm imagining overalls, even just like this, like with like
Oh, yeah.
torn knees. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you're like, little Finley comes up. This is the best day ever.
I think adult Finley mouths it at the same time, like remembering that moment of finding the sword and being like, "Oh my god, this is the greatest thing!" And then the horrified look on like the orphanage's like the people who run its face, like how did the child get a look?
One of the adults from like your tour is just like, is that a where did she find a sword? We're gonna have a discussion about this. No, Finn. Maybe.
What you got there? A sword! No!
Oh!
Yeah.
And you all sort of stand on the edge of the beach. Okay. What do you do?
Gidget turns to Donnie. What was the next step?
So after this, we were going to return to another time when Finley had the sword?
GMs, Gidget is smart. Okay.
Y'all gotta blink at this point.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah. Gotta go back to the top level. Go back to chapter select.
Yeah.
Right. Well, on 3. 1, 2, 3.
You all blink and return back to the library. The book about the sealing of Drexos begins to... You look at it. It's closed and it is glitching.
You know when you watch a 3D movie, but without the 3D glasses?
Yeah.
Where it's almost like you see... It's not... You're seeing one thing, but it's split 3 ways. The book looks like that and fizzing in and out.
Huh.
Hmm.
It's at that point that the doors to the library burst open.
We didn't do it.
And you see Iris and Lens.
Okay.
No.
So, I'm going to do they look hostile? Are they hostile yet?
They're not attacking you.
Okay. So I'm gonna use the move fast talk.
All right. Let's fast talk to you.
When speaking with an intelligent creature who can understand you and isn't hostile, you convince that creature to take one reasonable action in the next round.
Okay.
So I'm going to look at I'm going to turn. Reasonable action must be agreed upon by the GM.
Okay.
And it can't put anybody in danger, which I'm not going to.
What is the reasonable action?
I'm going to be like, I'm going to turn to them and I think you should, you tasked us with fixing them messed up time shenanigans that were happening, and that's what we're trying to do. So I think you should just either hear us out or just let us back on with our business.
Please.
They sort of look at you. Darby, would you like to?
Yeah. They look at you. They look at each other. They look at the books in the library. Did you get everything you needed?
She looks at everybody else.
I believe we did.
Yeah.
Paxton looks over at his arm, and then some.
Good.
Not
Yeah.
a second to spare.
Not a second to spare. And they vanish.
Right. Perfect. All right then. Back to work.
Okay. Oh my god.
Right.
I don't do well with
Yes.
authority figures.
Destroying the ultimate evil.
Turns out it's my expertise, Finley.
They both vanish as though they have never been there. It's different from when they've disappeared before.
Did I just talk them out of existence? That's a thought for later with my therapist. Let's go.
You can do that? What?
Do you all leave the library?
Yeah.
Where you
I
headed?
feel like
Yes.
Whatever the
once-
next step is.
Yes.
I feel like once we leave, we can't go back. So
Oh.
that's the vibe I'm getting.
So the books are all glitching, like all of them?
All the books
Or
are
just
glitching,
some of them?
and some of them are just disappearing entirely, as though someone is taking portions of history and rewriting it.
Got it. Okay. Which is what we are kind of doing, right?
Not just us, though.
Your changes were smaller in scale and scope. These are large swaths of history disappearing.
Can I jump into the book I was in before where I met my dad?
You go to find that book and it is not there.
The
Do I still have the
changes-
scabbard?
You do still
You
have
do.
scabbard.
Okay, just want to make sure.
The changes you all made were gaps left unsaid where
History unwritten.
anything could have happened. This time someone is writing and rewriting and erasing whatever they wanted.
There's something about what Iris and Lens said earlier, before they disappeared. Not a second to spare. Gidget, your mind would snap. The statue of Isaac. The inscription underneath. not a second to spare.
And that was in a room full of mirrors, right?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so again, Gidget is smart.
Gidget is smart.
So does she think that she needs to run to that room now?
Yes.
Got it. Right then, to the room full of mirrors. Let's go. And she starts running. And she's actually faster than you guys expected.
Gidget takes off down these halls. Do you all follow?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
oh, and
for
where
sure.
she goes.
I am an authority figure, remember?
The rest of you following along. These halls are different. You're still following, there's pillars and almost endless turns and ways to go, but the halls are colder, they're darker. Where once there used to be images and like little baubles and knickknacks adorning like alcoves and parts of the wall, you see blank spaces, and new paintings taking their place of a figure, red skin, horns, standing, sitting on a throne, another him standing on a cliff. You look and you see baubles and things that were lovingly placed on gentle alcoves disappearing or glitching, fizzling out of existence. As you begin to turn and turn, you come and Gidget, you're running, and suddenly your foot, you hear a crunch underneath as you step on broken glass, safe on your shoes, but you look up. The hall of mirrors, every single mirror in front of you, except for one, shattered. Glass littering the floor, and instead of a statue of Isaac in front of you, there is instead a statue of Drexos, standing victorious, sword in hand, foot planted firmly on a crumpled body, and the inscription underneath saying, Drexos, all the time in the world. And that's where we'll cut to break.
All right, we're going to
Sure,
take
it's fine.
a quick
He's
got
break,
so
much
everybody.
bad luck.
Yeah. Seems like a trustworthy guy.
Yeah, exactly. Super trustworthy.
Exactly.
But we're going to take our
I mean,
quick
look-
break, everybody. We're going to be back, and we will see you soon.
Woo woo.
back. Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back in. So, last we left off, our motley group of heroes have gathered and hauled ass down these halls that are quickly changing around them and stop in front of shards of broken glass and a statue reformed not in the image of Isaac, but the image of Drexos, with the plaque reading, "All the time in the world." There is one mirror standing still ahead of you, not broken, but you can see it vibrating and shaking as if something is rattling this mirror. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna down my potion.
Yeah, I think I'm also gonna down my potion.
It
Seems
might
like
be
sounds
potion
like a good
time.
idea.
Potion time.
Potion.
Make sure I have my darts ready.
Potion
And
time,
Gidget
potion
downs the
time.
potion in one hand, and in her other hand slams her baton out.
Like
Of course, she has a baton.
Oh yeah, I had it like the first time we fought something
Mhm.
Oh,
because
that's right,
she would
that's
have to
right.
carry it in her purse for safety. So
Mhm. I love that. Yeah, potion time for sure.
You take your potions, you feel this energy sort of surge through you. You feel stronger. Any fatigue, any weariness that you might have been carrying with you sort of fades away as you down these potions. Is there anything else you would like to do?
Are we looking in the mirror, the last mirror that's standing?
You can. It's a bit of a distance away from you. If you are standing at the entrance to this circular room surrounding the mirror is off to the side, not directly ahead of you, but just a couple mirrors to the left. So it's
I think.
not quite visible.
Okay.
I mean, you
think
can see the
Finley-
mirror, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know if it was like right in front of us or at a distance or. Okay. I think Finley would sort of take that initiative to approach it first and just kind of see what its deal, why it was the one that didn't shatter.
Mm-hmm. You see within it, the mirror is no different than the other ones around it. The frame is still holding it, though it is cracking, and you see little cracks forming and glitching as this mirror is shaking. And looking inside, you see a version of you standing there, but behind you in the mirror, where it should be reflecting the statue and the other people behind you, you see instead a black expanse, lines of white sort of on the floor glowing, and you see Drexos fighting Isaac, and Isaac badly wounded, losing as Drexos kicks him in the chest. Another Drexos behind him clocks him in the head behind as Isaac is trying to hold his ground but is clearly in a losing battle.
Helps if I unmute. And my reflection is just looking back at me, like if I move my hand, her hand moves.
One more time.
So like is my reflection. So I see that in the background happening behind the reflection me.
Mm-hmm.
And then is reflection me like a literal reflection?
It's a you that's but wearing a cyclone ball like professional jersey.
The dream.
Moves in sync with you.
I try to like touch the mirror. Does anything happen?
When your hand is about to touch the glass,
Mm-hmm.
you feel it's like passing your hand through a pool of water, and it just goes through.
Hey guys,
Yes.
there's a dude fighting the devil. It is not going well. I want to
Then-
help him.
We should probably get in there, yes.
Okay, thank you. And then she jumps through the mirror, like tries to
Oh,
go through
okay.
the mirror.
I meant together! And I'll run and jump in after.
Gidget follows.
Okay.
Paxton, do you jump through
Pax.
the mirror as well?
Yep. Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
All right, you all jump. You feel it's not like wet is, but you feel something pass over you as you all jump through this mirror. You land in this empty space and see before you what Finley had seen. Drexos, a sword in one wielding sword, another just fisticuffs, grins on their face as they are. Isaac is now prone on the ground and they are kicking him over and over again.
I'd like to do another move.
Sure. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna use encouragement, and I'm going to what's it say I can do here? Well, you maintain this ability through ongoing inspiring oration. Your allies within short range use one of the following task types: defense, attacks, or tasks related to any skill that I'm trained or specialized in. So as we are fighting, Gidget is just like loud. Like once we start fighting, Gidget just like starts loudly talking about how great all of her allies are.
Heck yeah.
Like,
Gassing
Finley,
them
you're
up.
so strong. Donnie, you're so smart. Paxton, you can do this. She just like keeps like the whole time just like shouting encouragement at everybody, which makes that gives them one ease
Awesome.
as long as I keep it up. So once I go into seal form, I won't be able to do it anymore. But
As you begin to start saying these words of encouragement to your party, the Drexoses stop and look up. One of them smiles. One with the sword. Thank you all so much for being here. It's been such a pleasure, really. How often do you get to say that you not only do I get to win twice. Say me. Just high fives himself.
Do you also like the smell of your own farts? Because that's the vibe you give off.
Oh, Finley. So bitter. But you fulfilled your destiny. Doesn't that feel great? Doesn't it feel great to help people? You've helped a lot of people, Finley. You helped me. And I am going to help everyone see what they always should have seen. Me. So come on then.
one of the
Silver.
encouraging things that Gidget shouts out is, "He knows nothing about you, Finley. I've never seen you been bitter."
You.
All right, folks. It's time for a big epic boss fight. Who's ready for this?
Oh boy.
I love how the voice wasn't active, huh?
It was not, no.
No.
Mm-mm. Cool.
Oh,
I forgot.
darn.
It was perfect though. I think you did a great job. That was such a good villainous monologue.
It was.
Proud of you.
It was very good.
The Drexos. The two Drexos look at each other. They clasp arms. And then the form of both of them begins to shiver and shake and turn into this massive, devilish, true demon form. These wings spurt out the back as it begins to take this higher being form. And as it does, this darkness, this area that's this dark hall of mirrors and potential begins to change and shift around, and you see that the Drexos begins to change form as well, shifting through different permutations, the same as each of the reflections you would see in the halls. I'm going to need everybody to make me a might test. As one of the Drexos forms becomes almost angelic, bright and burning.
What's our difficulty?
The difficulty is 5, so you need a 15 or higher.
Right.
But,
I rolled a natural one.
oh my god. Okay.
That's better. 18.
Does the ease that Gidget is giving us with their inspiring oration count for this?
Yes it does. It eases it by 1 to a 12.
Good. Then I succeed with a 13 instead of fail.
I'm going to use Gidget's ease and a point from my pool to make it easier so that I can pass with an 11.
All right. Gidget, the light becomes so dazzling and so burning that for a brief moment your vision is obscured. For one round, you will be unable to see anything, and you are going to take 6 points of damage
Oh,
as this burning blaze cuts across your field of vision.
Where do I find, like, how do I know how many points I can take?
So, how you've got your different pools?
Yeah.
You can take the 5 points out of any one of those pools. It'll probably come out of your might pool first.
Oh, okay, so like if I take 5 points of damage, then I take 5 points out of
5
that
points
pool.
off of your might pool, yes.
Got it.
That the pools wind up being your hit points as well. Once you run out of them, you are in a bad position. All right. So the light fades. Who would like to go first?
I'd like to go first.
All right, Finley, what you do?
So I would like to do, I have an ability called Control Field.
Okay.
The melee attack inflicts 1 less point of damage than normal, and regardless of whether you hit the target, you maneuver it into a position you desire within immediate range.
Okay.
Because I want to get him, because it's like one Draxos amalgamation now, right?
Yeah, it's kind of twisting into this strange, ever-shifting body horror beast.
Gross.
Yeah.
Let's get it further away just for a minute, and like, let's kind of maybe put it in an uncomfortable position. So I think she wants to like run up and like Superman punch him.
Hell yeah.
Make
me a might test. It will be difficulty. It'll be a 15 or higher.
15 or higher. Okay.
Is what you need to hit.
Mm-hmm. That's a 13. But if I use another might pool thing,
so
I can.
I will also say that potion that you took down does give you an extra point of effort, which would allow you to reduce the difficulty of this to a 12 if you like.
Yes, let's do that.
Okay. Sounds good. Then you succeed. Roll your damage.
And that'll be a
For it's your melee attack.
D6.
D6,
Yeah.
yes.
2.
Okay, and that's -1, so that's 1 point of damage.
Mhm.
But you're able
But-
to move him sort of into a position away from the rest of your allies. At a certain point, you will almost instinctually grab for the sword in the scabbard. The scabbard glows for a second as though you are reaching for the sword,
Mhm.
and it feels like you almost have a grasp on a hilt for just a split second. But it doesn't form just yet.
Okay.
All right.
And I kind of want to take like a defensive position once I land from my cool Superman punch.
Absolutely. Drexos sort of looks at and notices the scabbard in your possession.
An interesting thing you've got there, Finley.
Is it this?
So childish. That's fine. I'll take back what's mine.
And I'll take back what's mine. That's my sword.
That's funny that you think so. I've had it far longer than you, Finley, and I will have it far longer past you existing.
All right, who wants to go next?
Gidget can't do anything because she cannot see, so she just keeps shouting encouragement, and that's my turn.
That is perfect. All right, Donnie.
Yeah, I think there's no reason to hold off on things here, so I'll take one of my seeking darts and throw it at this jackass.
Hell yeah.
So let's see here. Oh, do I have a difficulty for this?
This is it is going to be everything's going to be a 15 or higher for this.
Gotcha. Sounds good. So that is, I will spend a point from my, let's say, the speed pool, and I will succeed on that with 13.
13? Okay,
Yes,
sounds
indeed.
good. All right. Also, if it misses, it continues to attack one additional time per cipher level until it hits for this Hunter Seeker.
It sure does. Is there a limit on how much it can do that?
So it will. Yours is a level 3, so it will attack a maximum of 4 times.
Gotcha. And then it's like spent.
And then it is spent. Yes.
So I think I think I'm okay with spending the might for now.
Okay.
Just to keep it in the back pocket for later.
Perfect. Roll a d100 to determine the type of attack.
Yeah, this is the fun part that I definitely should have gotten a d100 out for before I did this.
If you want, I can roll it for you. I got one.
I got it. That is a 44.
So 44. It will inflict 8 points of damage. If you'd like to describe how it does that.
So as Douche Nozzle is proclaiming to Finley, you foolish child, I'll just step forward and say, you think you would have learned from when you lost the last time to stop underestimating people. And then just casually chuck the dart in his direction.
As you throw the dart up in the air, it stands still for a second before it shoots out with this incredible impact that just pierces Drexos through the shoulder and comes back out the other side, returning to your hand. That's
That is indeed.
8 points of damage. So we're at 9. Okay. And that would leave Paxton next.
That it would. So yeah, I got. You heard my roll, right? It was like an 18 during that whole form shimmering thing.
Yes, that was a defense roll for your to block your eyes in time.
Got it. Okay, cool.
Now, if you
All
want
right.
to do an attack, it's different.
All right, cool. So I don't got much on me, but I do have this shiny new arm, and you said something about just sort of like it just sort of like configures around, like the gears are like configuring around the hand or something, like constant configuration. I heard something like that.
So
Reconfigured into a new shape.
Oh,
reconfigure
thank
it
you.
into a
Okay,
shape.
that's what it was. All right. Well, there's a guy. He's got a new arm. Let's punch a god. Fuck it.
Okay.
He just runs
Are
up.
you going to
Let's-
try and reconfigure your arm?
I could do that.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of what it's for.
I mean, yeah, sure.
If you reconfigure your arm, you sort of like have this mental command, and pieces of your arm begin to like form and fall off and reconfigure. You still have your arm,
Uh-huh.
but now at your feet is this little robot.
Yeah. Okay.
You got a little friend now.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. I didn't know if I wanted to use him or not. Oh, nice.
If you don't want to, then you don't have to.
No, absolutely, absolutely. Just sort of like he just goes to crack his hand, just like, all right, let's do this, and then just sort of like that happens, and I'm just sort of like that happens, and Paxton looks over and just sort of like because it's.
I will say that if you would like to use your friend as like a distraction technique, that would ease your roll.
Okay. Yeah. No. Absolutely. Okay. Small. Cute,
It's kind of like a ranger's animal companion, but better.
nice. Cypress.
Also, everyone gets eased rolls because I have been shouting.
Yes.
Its level is equal to Cypress level, and they can understand. Can make attacks. Okay, cool. So he just looks over at Adam, just a quick size up, just like looks at the hand, just like that's new, and just sort of like just mental like a bit, just like oh okay that's happened, but then just like oh right that guy just looks over at this new cog formed being and just sort of like distract, just like points towards that.
This little automaton looks at you, and then it begins to run at this demon. Little piston legs firing, and begins to run at it, and like starts like punching and kicking this massive being,
Oh.
and this being's like starts and like. Some of the little arms begin to reconfigure into like climbing spikes, and it begins to start trying to climb up the legs by
Oh.
jamming into the legs of this being.
Oh,
And
oh, the Colossus style. I love it.
is gonna try and climb. Is going to try and climb the big boy and distract it for you. And
bless.
so make me. You want to make an attack roll?
Yes, I do.
Make me a might test.
Mike's test.
So it's eased one from your little buddy, and it's eased again from Gidget yelling
Encouragement.
words of affirmation at you.
Nice. Love it. Come on, be good. 19!
19. Okay, so a 19 gives you a minor effect and 3 additional points of damage.
Oh,
So
I love
roll
this guy.
roll for your damage on your attack.
all right. That's a D20 again, right?
No, so are you just using like a basic melee attack or using a weapon? You're punching with your arm?
Yes. Yeah. The clockwork arm. Yeah.
Okay. I believe that's it's going to be a D6 for the roll.
Okay.
So roll a D6.
I was like, I have a D6 on me. Can I just grab that real quick, or just?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. 5 seconds. Yep.
And this creature begins to, as Paxton sort of pulls up this arm and begins to punch. Alright, what?
Dice obtained and mood lighting set. All right, D6.
Yeah, roll your d6.
6. Let's go.
Okay, so that's
Max damage.
9 points of damage. Jeez.
Woo-hoo!
Okay, so this little creature starts climbing up the leg, and Drexos, get this thing off of me. It begins to shake it as you come up with this arm and just punch into it full force with the strength of this metal arm, and do a considerable amount of damage. So that's okay. The group of you, this ever-shifting beast. Okay. And that would bring us back up to the top. Gidget, as this ends, you sort of blink really hard, and you still have sort of stars in your vision, but you can see now.
Great.
And if you like, you can go.
Oh. Okay. So, continuing to shout things, I'm going to go to the one that the little robot friend is attacking and attack its ankles with my baton.
So they're actually one creature. They've sort of fused together.
That's one
into
big creature now.
One big beast. One big.
That
beast.
doesn't change my decision. I'm still just going to attack its ankles with my baton.
Heck yeah. Make
right.
me a might test.
Okay, what's my difficulty?
Difficulty is 12. Currently.
Perfect. I
Used
rolled a
it.
12.
Awesome. So you.
And I think we decided a baton was a D6.
Mhm.
Okay. That's 4 points.
4 points. Okay. Okay. All right. That is. This creature begins to just howl in pain. You all have done a fair bit of damage to it. It is currently bloodied and who wants to go next?
I'll go.
Okay.
How does Isaac look?
Isaac is
No, go ahead. No, it's up
Isaac
to you.
is on the ground, but he's, as his fighting is happening around him, he's slowly like trying to get up, sort of shaking as he's like trying to stand, but is continually like falling a little bit and trying to pull himself a little away from right underneath the Drexos mecha.
From off to the side, you see this, the sort of reconstituted form of Amelie get underneath one of his arms and begin to pull him out.
Okay. I think Finley wants to help with that.
Okay.
Because her friends are doing like way more damage than she, no offense, that she thought they were capable of, and is like so impressed and so proud, and is like, they're just crushing it, and this guy is gonna get crushed. So I think she wants to kind of help like get him away from things, because Draxos made the comment about it doesn't feel good to help people, and she's like, it does feel good to help people. I'm gonna do that. And you're really mean, and those words hurt. And kind of just help Isaac away.
Okay.
I didn't know if I could use my first aid skill, my knowledge.
Yeah.
I have first aid knowledge.
But first, Finley, I'm going to ask you to make me a might defense.
All right, rude.
Because there is a large being that has seized that you have something that they want and has grabbed this massive sword and is beginning to try to swing it down on top of you.
What is the difficulty?
15. It is easy
With-
by 1. So it's 12.
That's 12. and then I can't use my potion again because I've already used it, right?
Potion's been used as one use only.
One use only. Okay.
Come on, Finley. Nat 20.
I got a
Easy.
7.
That's less than
That's
Nat 20.
it. It is D. Yeah.
We're gonna GM and shoot
Thank
this.
you for helping. Yeah.
Darby?
So, but I want to use, how many points in my pool do I need to use to make this succeed? 5?
5, right?
So in order to, so it was eased by Gidget to a 12. You would need to use 3 points from your pool.
Done. I'll do that. I'm going to make this work. I want to prove that it is a good thing to help people.
Okay.
And that this is the right thing, and that she's willing to like put it on the line to do that.
All right. Darby?
Sword comes down. Drexo's smiling and laughing at you.
You're helping the wrong people, Finley. But don't worry, I'll fix that for you. And
Begins to swing down with the sword. You reach, and on instinct, you reach for the sword. And as Drexos' hand is coming down, your hand grabs a hilt and swings up and knocks back. It's almost, it would knock back if it was making contact. You see Drexos, the sword in his hand, shimmer and glitch out as it reforms in your hand, and you swipe through this apparition of what he was swiping down with. The sword reunited with you, glimmering as parts of the wires and the malformed metal that was anchored onto it start to crack and break and fall away.
Can I say a
Sword.
cool one-liner real quick?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Always.
I think when she like is in that position of like defending someone and then has the sword up and basically just is like, I know exactly what I'm doing, and you will never trick me again. I'll go. Thank you so much. It's been good.
Thank you. He just roars in anger as he sees the sword not only taken from his grasp, but renewed to what it once was, what it should have always been, and you have always known it to have been.
Say hello to the Sword of Eternity.
Is this my third cipher?
This is your third cipher. Let me.
What's happening?
Let me add this. So I will say that once per day, your sword can do this fun little nugget on top of the standard, on top of a D8 of damage.
I love that for me. This is very nice. Thank you so much for this gift.
You're welcome.
And then I'm going to help Isaac get the heck out of there. Or help Amelie help Isaac kind of.
Each one of you grab underneath a shoulder of Isaac and begin to drag him out and away from the fight, as you now have this sword that glows happily in your hands. There's the feeling that comes from it is almost one of something being happily reunited after a long time apart.
Friends. Yeah.
And feels so good.
All right. Donnie, Paxton, which one of you would like to go first?
I suppose I can go first because I mean, so the second verse same as the first, right? I'm just gonna throw another dart at the guy. That's about what I got.
That was very Midwestern of you.
You know, And so that is a 4. So I think I'm gonna use the charge to make it hit anyway, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm. So, you will have
yeah, go ahead.
one less hit with this.
That's fair.
Instead of 4, you'll have, instead of the 4 that you had, you'll have 3, which means you only have 1 shot left with this.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So roll your D100. Tell me what it does.
Sure. Let's see. Oh. Well, I got a 98. It's very high.
Okay. I think I can flavor this. So the dart that missed sort of hits Drexos in the chest and just sort of sits there. And he goes to grab it. And as he does, he grabs it and crushes it. And this almost expanding foam envelops him and then instantly hardens. And he is stuck in place. Any attacks are going to be eased by an additional 1.
It should be obvious why we're going to beat you. You're outnumbered through time and space.
I am time and space. You are just fleas on the back of a tiger. How dare you?
He seems upset.
All
No.
right.
He
That's my turn.
seems scared.
He gnashes his teeth. Fighting.
Daddy can't
against
move.
Foam.
Shout out your mans, it just could never be me. Like I wouldn't get trapped like that. You know what I mean? Like I just wouldn't let it happen.
When there's skill difference, really.
You know
Still
those.
issue.
It's like
Still
those. It's like those tweets of saying, "Oh yeah, I'm him. He is not him."
All right. And then I'll toss it over to Paxton, right? So that's
Absolutely.
first in initiative.
Yeah. As long as my little cog buddy keeps just like Shadow of the Colossusing him.
Yeah.
Second verse, same as the first. Another one.
All right. Roll for your hit. So this was a 15, eased to a 12 by Gidget's affirmations. Eased to a 9 because of the sticky foam, and eased again to a 6 because of the Robuddy.
I was gonna say, is Cog Buddy doing okay?
Cog Buddy is doing a-okay.
Oh, I love him. I love him so much. All right, come on. 8.
Okay.
8.
Then that's enough. Roll your damage.
Woo! The opposite spectrum. A 1.
Okay. This hit,
Damage is damage.
you almost hit the foam, and it impacts, but not as much as you would have liked.
Damage is damage.
And it's at this point that he begins to make this attempt to break free and shatters the foam around him. But that's all that he can do is shatter the foam. Who would like to go next? I'll say Gidget if you'd like.
Yeah, so he just like escaped from the foam or whatever.
Yeah.
So Gidget says one last shot of encouragement to everybody. And then turns herself back into seal form. And then eats the cupcake of perfection. And I would like to swim up in the air, because as we have established, I have this magical ability to swim in the air. So I'm going to swim up into the air, and I want to grab this guy's one of his horns and rip it off.
Absolutely, and with a natural
It's more of a
20
way to fuck with him than it is to like do damage, but
Yeah, but with a natural 20 from the
Yeah.
Cupcake of Perfection, you absolutely, you can absolutely do that. And there's a howl of pain as that happens, because as part of the natural 20, that's 4 additional points of damage on top of whatever you do. And I will say the major effect is that blood begins to pour down and get into his line of sight.
and I think I'm going to kind of toss it down at Finley's feet.
Hell yeah.
And then do a seal raspberry. To make Finley laugh.
She does. She's just like, this is serious face.
Serious face.
Serious time. Got a seal of approval.
Yeah. I'd like to go now. I'd like to hit him with my sword.
Absolutely.
Please. Thank you very much. Okay. Well, I'm going to use the Star of Perfection. I'm going to sort of pull it out and then just making like hard eye contact with this dude and just crush it in my hand before taking the sword in both hands and like running up and just swinging at him.
Okay. With a natural 20 instilled upon you by the Star of Perfection,
Mm-hmm.
shatter the star to the ground, and this almost celestial aura begins to envelop and take you over. And a pair of starry wings form out of the back of you, Finley, as you begin to kick up off of the ground with the sword to swing down upon Drexos. I will let you know that for this fight, I did increase the hit points of the creature that I based Drexos on.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, he is sitting at 2 remaining.
Oh, well, I was also going to do heat attack with my sword,
You can do whatever you like.
Just to fucking do whatever.
which adds 2 additional points of damage
Oh, yes.
by generating a burst of heat when it strikes a solid creature or object. And because I got a natural 20, I do hit.
So that's 6 additional points of damage with a natural
Let's just
20
go ahead
and a
and roll
major
the-
effect.
So I did roll a 4 on the die, if we care.
You don't actually have to roll for it because
Oh.
you already got a 20 from the Star of Perfection.
Okay, so it would do max damage,
It would do max damage.
which is
Or-
8.
Yes.
So I've done 10 total damage then.
Total damage
Great. With wings.
with wings. Alright.
In like a war cry.
Finley, describe
Just-
how you would like to dispatch Drexos.
I think there's just like an anger and intensity because he tricked her. He took advantage of her goodwill and her wanting to help and wanting to be the good guy. And it's just so infuriating because to her, that's the worst kind of person, is to manipulate someone who genuinely thinks they're doing the right thing. And she's just like, you know what? I'm never going to let you trick anyone or hurt anyone ever again. So like when she flies up and like feels the wings, and normally Finley would be like, oh, this is the coolest thing. Like, guys, look, I've got wings. And like nothing matters, like tunnel vision almost. And just as she swings down, it's very just like heroic looking in the sense that like it's very like, you know, the big slash, she doesn't try to like cut his head off. She literally just wants it to end so he can stop hurting people. So there's no like huge flourish. I think she lands and she's panting because it, the anger and the energy it took, and just sort of as, the blow is struck and the body falls and she lands and she's just like, we don't have to worry about that anymore. We're going to be okay. I'm okay.
You slice through. You land on the ground. Take a deep breath and then another. Drexos, holding their chest, seeing the blood, takes 2 panting breaths as well, and then collapses to the ground.
Form starts to flicker and glitch. The wings that were there, glowing and burning, start to and pixelate almost as they fold away, and this form drops back down to the smaller, familiar form of Drexos. Drexos the Great, Drexos the Terrible, Drexos the Defeated, laying on the ground, slain by Finley. What do you do in this moment of victory?
Gidget, still in seal form, goes to hug Finley.
Finley hugs back. Tries to. It's like she has to bend over really far because...
No, I'm flying.
Yeah.
Oh, you're flying. That makes it even better. You're up at
Also,
my
leopard
height.
seals? Leopard seals are big. They are big seals. They are
yeah.
not to be trifled with seals.
There. I mean, I did make her 6.5 feet tall, or taller than that, so... Anyways, but she's excited that she doesn't have to bend over to hug someone. So there's that. But then there's also the like, we did it, it's over. We go back to school now. Like, I think the reality of it starts to hit in. Like, I had my heroic moment, but then it's like, you're also still a 19-year-old in college. This is a lot. And so I think that just emotion starts to hit, and she kind of tears up a little as she hugs her friends and then like gestures for other friends to come over for hugs.
Leopard seals can get between 7.9 feet to 11.5 feet.
They are big fucking seals.
Heck yeah.
They are
Long,
like,
right?
they are also mad aggressive.
Yeah, very much so.
They got sharp pointies.
She bites.
She bites.
And she's cute.
Mm-hmm.
True.
So cutest. Being a
Are
terrifying
we
force.
talking about Gidget Seal? Are we talking about me now?
I mean,
Yes.
¿Por qué no
Yeah.
los dos?
Mm-hmm.
Do you all go in for a group hug?
Yes, very wearily. Donnie is tired too.
Right.
You all.
Yeah, that was like Paxton comes in, just sort of like, and just like, emotion. Yes.
Weary, tired, victorious, you all share this moment of respite before a tired, damp with blood hand touches your back, Finley. And Isaac says, it's not quite over yet.
What do we have to do? Do we have to put him back in the ball?
You turn this room that you're in. It was dark with white glowing lines lining it, but you see now these lines are shimmering, shaking, glitching, fading, line after line, going out, out, out. Isaac, tired, Amelie under one arm, kind of propping him up. And now that Amelie is back, a decision needs to be made. We, in sealing Drexos in, solving this original problem that is now undone thanks to dipshit over there. Something needs to be decided upon, and it's up to you all to make this decision. Gidget, you're standing there for a second, or floating in your seal form, you pop out of existence for a second. Your arm, Finley, where Gidget should have been, you see the seal form shake, shimmer, glitch, fade, and then come back. We tied two worlds together, and now those two worlds are coming apart at every instance, at every time they were stitched.
You say we, but it was
Vertex is a world combined. Unfortunately, that means, should it continue, the worlds will be separated, and every moment that could have happened combined between the two doesn't happen. Never happened. Hasn't happened ever.
Nothing is.
The worlds will be separated.
And if they're separated,
Hera and Bola alone at last.
but if they're separated, it means that certain people that met never met. People that exist don't exist anymore as a result. Amelie sort of looks at you, Gidget.
Gidget comes out of seal form so she can talk, but hasn't said anything yet.
Keeping
All
the
right.
worlds together is a cost, a heavy cost.
It's what cost me my.
Well, what is it? We can
entire
figure it
existence.
out. We can do it. We defeated the literal devil. I don't want to lose Gidget.
I agree with Finlay.
Entire existence. Amelie and I together stitched these worlds together through time and memory. It takes everything that you are, and anything you could have been. Nobody remembered us because we
yeah.
never.
While Isaac acted
Word.
as the Bastion, I made sure that the worlds stayed together and that no one remembered that there were two.
Okay, but there's more of us now, right? What if it's not just you two? What if we split this 4 ways? Perhaps more will survive. I mean, you survived in my ring, right? If we divide this between more people, surely we can bear the weight of it together.
Could work.
It will work.
It's untrodden territory. There's no telling what would happen to you, to your memories.
I'll grab Gidget's hand. I mean, a day ago, neither was chronomancy. We're history makers. Another notch in the belt.
If this is what you want to do, then Isaac wipes his hand across the scenery, and you all come to in the same space where Finley once freed Drexos, where Amelie was once sacrificed as a part of a ritual. This room, lighter feeling, but still carrying dark towers, scorched floor. This is where it all originated from, this point in time and space and memory, this spot. If it is going to happen, it has to happen here.
Time, space, memory. And love.
What happened to Colette?
You see off to the side, coming out of the entryway, you see Colette and Reese stepping out. River. Hi, Finn.
Hi, you made it. I was worried. You locked me in a library, which was the right thing, but also terrifying.
We've been a little preoccupied trying to stop all of existence from collapsing.
Same,
You see
kind of.
the Professor Karia.
I forgot about him, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I think everybody did. It's okay. And
He was just minding his business.
almost reforming, you see Iris and Lens. What are we doing?
Just fixing a few things.
Yeah.
All right.
Sharing the load.
You
Stitching
everything
the-
together? All of us.
I'll walk up to Isaac and Amelie and sort of like fist bump Isaac's chest and say, "No more putting the burden on a select few. We all live in this world. We'll all take a piece of it."
All right. Hello, Raiders. Welcome in. We're just about to do the grand finale stuff.
Also, not to be an I told you so kind of person, but I did say I would get you two back together.
Amelie sort of smiles. You did say that.
Isaac rolls his eyes and just coughs, but leans more on Amelie.
I'll turn and grab both of Gidget's hands. Through time, space, and whatever else they decide to throw at us, nothing could wipe your memory from me.
She just smiles.
I will steal a quick kiss if I am allowed.
Of course, absolutely.
And then I'll clap my hands together and say, "All right, people, let's get into a circle."
Everyone starts to move, shifting a little bit. Amelie and Isaac leaning against each other, sort of shuffle backwards. Colette stands next to Finley, Professor Karia next to Paxton, Gidget and Donnie next to each other, Amelie on the other side of Donnie, or not, of Donnie. Forming a circle, and Iris and Len stepping in next to Isaac and Professor Karia. Isaac sort of lifts a hand off of Iris and Len's, sticks it forward, and starts. It's like grabbing at the air, but as his fingers close, you see space bending around his fingers, like as if he's pulling at a curtain, grabbing at it. and then pulling it away and pulling it up as the fabric pulls away and goes towards each of you, spreading out. Each of you taking a bit of the load to keep the world together. Threads begin to tie you all together and turn and twist like a maypole almost as they turn around this point in space and time and memory with love. As the shaking of the world stops, you see things begin to reform. This room, once barren, baubles start to appear again. The camera zooms out of this space, out of the headquarters of the Wandering Eye, and you see where the world was cracking and glitching, things begin to settle and reform back to the world that you knew. Not two worlds separate from each other, but one world together. Always has been, always will be. One. With that, the spell completes. And you are all standing in this room, side by side, hand in hand. The world is saved.
We did it.
Well, Iris stands a little straight. I suppose we have to get all of you home, yes? And I think that means
Yeah.
everybody looks at Reese and looks at Colette. We should also return the rest of the pupils.
Yes, not really a need.
No, you're right.
Suppose we'll return too.
What will that be like?
Not sure, really.
I'm excited to find out.
Always.
All right.
I have a quick question for the DMs, if no one minds.
Yeah.
Go for it.
What's up?
Does Amelie wear a ring?
Well, funny you should mention that. After this ritual completes, the patchwork version of Amelie is now full and human. And returning to a true form. She does not wear a ring on her finger.
I'll sort of... Gidget will see Donnie get a sort of semi-mischievous smile that you've seen Donnie get multiple times. And I will slide the ring that I wear on my pinky off. And I will toss it to Isaac and say, "You're a bastion of a different sort now. Something happens to her, I'll be pissed."
Nothing is ever going to happen to her again, except for the good things in life. Thank you. Takes the ring and just quietly slips it on her hand.
She kisses him on the cheek. It was sap. Both of you. Holmes? Holmes.
Dinner. Only had lunch. Kinda hungry.
That had actually sounds excellent. Honestly, I don't remember the last time I had a good meal.
I could eat.
All right.
All right.
Let's go. Doors shoot open, allowing each of you to step through. Donnie, Gidget, Finley, and Paxton, you step through into a familiar classroom with the professor.
I look around at everyone and make eye contact, like, that
Right.
did just happen, right? Like, are we good?
I'm good.
For the first time in a while, just sort of looks at his hands, just like, yeah, I'm good.
The clock on the wall in this classroom ticks. It's about an hour before classes should start. But it's 4 of you in this room, back on school grounds, back where you started. But not the same as you started.
If there is any, before we wrap up for this evening, if there are any little vignettes, character sunset moments that you'd like to see, speak them out. Where do your characters find themselves in the next couple days, months, years?
I imagine vacationing near water becomes a much more prominent thing in my life.
Gidget goes to every one of Finley's games.
Agreed.
And when Finley finally comes out, she's the one that gives her her first pride pin.
Thank you. Does Colette come with?
I think Colette shows up
Colette
to all
didn't
your
walk through your door,
No. Okay. Go to
but Anita, were you saying something?
No, I was, but you can go. Go, Darby, go.
Okay. Colette did not walk through your door, but as a couple days pass, a new student shows up in one of your classes. Colette.
Yeah. They start dating for sure. Because first it's just like, I really like hanging out with my friend who I haven't seen in a long time. And then it's like, it's really great sharing a bed with them for sleepover girl nights that are platonic purely. And then I have no romantic thoughts about anyone except you. And then I think at some point she does go to like Gidget's office and explains all of this and is like, so what is that? That's normal, right? Everyone feels that way about their best friend?
Gidget explains
Yeah.
that it's
and
not
then,
normal.
I'm in love with her. And then I think it's like that like aha moment, and then like goes and gets her first like biggest smooch ever. And they start super dating.
I like to think that there's
Not just
probably
dating, super dating.
Super
Love it.
dating. And then, you know, she throws herself into cyclone ball and she tries to like volunteer more at like you know, little like soup kitchens around town and all that kind of stuff.
And I think
And
that
just
there's
try to
a new person, new fan in your Cyclone Ball. I think there might be a little vignette moment where you find yourself playing in a Cyclone Ball match, and everybody is in the stands watching Finley. Like this, Donnie and Gidget and Paxton and Colette is there with your team flag and a little pride flag.
Yeah.
That's my
I love that.
girlfriend.
That's my girlfriend. Like when she comes out, she really comes out. I think it's one of those where it's like, it's just so hardcore. It's like almost all she can talk about
I
because she's
said
just so
first pride
excited.
pin. I didn't say it was the last pride
Yeah,
pin.
it's
Yeah,
definitely
for
not
sure.
the last one.
Oh yeah.
Your bag with all of your sporting gear in it, pride pin, pride pin, pride pin, pride pin. Just
Patches,
Gidget fully had
everything.
it in her drawer for the day you came to ask her
Yes.
about your feelings. It was like,
It was definitely a like everyone feels that way about their best friend, and then it's just no, and then it was just after this epiphany, and then it was pride, everything being as out and as proud and as happy about it as she could.
Yeah.
So and just loving that life.
Awesome.
Chase. What
Paxton.
does Chase do? Paxton.
After fighting the literal devil and also discovering chronomancy, and especially just that entire near breakdown moment with his dead brother, Paxton has a sort of new lease on life. He sort of like realizes that, you know what, there's more to life than just like hunkering down. So he gets a little like adventurous. He starts making friends. He starts experimenting more in just sort of like not only just magics, but just sort of like swordsplay. He tries to sort of like become a jack of all trades sort of thing. He even tries out for Cyclone Ball. It didn't go well, but he gave it a try nonetheless. And I guess more than everything, he over time goes back to just being to taking back Guillory. He's no longer Paxton Willamette. He's just back to Patrick Guillory. And as the months go by and he's starting to just like be a bit more, I guess not even lax, but more of just sort of like he faced down the devil. He helped break back time into existence. If he can do that, he can do just about anything. And I want to say months as he like right before like Finley's next like Cyclone Ball game, he's just sitting down writing a letter to his sister. Hey sis, it's me. I know it's been some time since we've spoken. I feel like the last time I've talked with anyone in the family was since Jarek passed away. I've been through some crazy shit that I think beats out almost everything that we've done. I know it sounds crazy, but I fought a devil. Not just metaphorically, but literally as well. I helped fix the space-time continuum. I met some of the weirdest, craziest, not necessarily normal people one would call friends, but hell, they are. I've been wanting to write for you from some time, and I could have brought an excuse upon excuse, but I was scared. I was scared about a lot of things. Scared about what my name would mean to ever since, even if it brought death. Scared about what my dad would think. Scared about ending up like Jarek. Scared of just becoming. Scared of dying. But after everything I've been through, I realized, and I mean this in the most positive, affirming way I can, I don't give a fuck. If I can face through everything, if I can, through what Dad gave us, Mom's death, Jarek's death, if I can face a literal devil, punch him out, and save the goddamn space-time continuum, maybe I should give life more of a chance than I thought. I'm coming back home, by the way. Winter break should be soon. I want to see you. Want to see Dad. Try to make something work. Make our name mean more than just death sentence. I'm not good at ending this, but I love you. I hope you still do too. Always and forever, a Guillory. Paxton. P.S. If something time-related happens, it probably was me. And as he rolls that up, as he rolls up that little signet, he definitely still, the book that he had during that whole escapade, is it still with him, or did it fade away as well?
It faded away as well. In fact,
Okay.
the entirety of the sanctum, the space, time between times, is gone, deconstructed. Place doesn't need to
Well,
exist.
either way, he goes, before he just realizes, just like, oh crap, right, the game. He goes to a little book, and he goes to a little just like leather-bound book, flips through a few pages, and in those pages are many, if not most, of the symbols from the sanctum that he's tried to memorize, and is trying to make a circle of sorts, not for any time construction means, but just wanting to see those two again.
Okay.
And curious to just know what else do they have in store for him.
You find yourself with a new branch of research.
And as he closes the book, looks at the letter, addressed to her sister, named Sheila, he just goes out, looks at his arm, and just for the first time in a while, things are all right.
All right. Gidget.
Yeah. So, after Donnie graduates, and is working a real grown-up job, and we're both making real grown-up money, we flash forward to a wedding. And it's as beautiful as you would think, and her mother helped her with a lot of it. It is by the ocean, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And afterwards, Gidget takes Donnie's last name, and her little placard on her desk is now Gidget Powers. Which is a really fucking cool name.
Yeah, it's a pretty solid
It
name.
is.
It's a pretty solid
Yeah.
name.
Do you
The,
And
invite
I
your
like to
dad to the
think-
wedding?
Oh yeah, both dads are at the wedding. So my stepdad is there. He's the one that walks with her down the aisle because that's the guy who raised her. But Reese is definitely there, and he's treated like an honored guest, like as if he had been in her family the whole time, but more like an uncle than a dad.
he's happy.
I would try as hard as I can to invite Amelie and Isaac as well, even though I don't know at all if that's possible.
I would say that they show up mysteriously,
Sick.
despite the fact that you're pretty sure that you don't even know where to send the invitation to. They both
I just read it.
They crashed the wedding.
Perfect.
Can't crash something that you were always invited to.
Enough.
Perfect. So yeah, I think
Yeah.
we
Alright.
end on a wedding.
We end on a wedding. And I
Dancing.
think with the world restored, a little piece of each of you used to stitch them together. That's where we're going to end time and time again. Thank you all so much for joining us and stopping by. This has been a wonderful little game that we've played, and I'm so proud to have played it with each and every one of you. We're gonna go and we're gonna do our outros for the last time, and then we're gonna head on out of here. Y'all have been lovely. But we're going to start in reverse order. We're going to start with May.
Awesome. Hi, I have been May, and I will probably continue to be May for the foreseeable future. You can find me on Twitter at Maybe Mayhem. I don't have any other projects at the moment coming up, but if you'd like to be made aware of them, that's the best place to find me. Also, if I join any other social medias, that's where you'll find out about it first. Yeah, and I had absolutely wonderful times. Thank you so much for everyone for coming on this very wonderful journey with us. And yeah.
Heck yeah. Up next, Paxton or Chase.
Hi, that's me. Oh my God, what's done is done. You can find me over at the Chase Beck on Twitter. It was an honor and a joy to play Paxton, and yeah, no, who all you need, maybe all you needed to save the world wasn't the belief in others, but the belief in yourself as well, and that's my takeaway from that. Um, uh, I want to say until next time, but yeah, no, until next time.
Hell yeah. Up next, Nikki.
Hello, I'm Nikki. I'm the creator director here at Critical Misses. So fun to say that officially. This is my last stream for a while. I am moving, and then school starts, and I'm a teacher, and I will be exhausted for a bit. But keep an eye out on the Critical Misses socials, because we will still be casting and accepting GM pitches and then casting for shows, even if I cannot personally be in them or run tech for them. There's still going to be shows. So
Yes.
keep an eye out on the Critical Misses socials, and I believe we're on Blue Sky there as well.
Yes, we have a Blue Sky account now.
Perfect.
And we
follow us on Blue Sky as well.
Started a TikTok as well.
Hell yeah, and it's the one with the underscore.
Misses. Yes.
Yes. Okay. If you see that other Critical Misses, it's a fake, report them. Okay, that's all.
Eddie?
Hello, my lovely creatures of the dark. My name is Dee, aka Lady Love Dies, aka Crimson Acid, aka The Witness to the End. But you can just call me the Riddler. I am the mind behind the Question Circle, which is a streaming collective where I make skits and voice things all over the place. If you see this giant voidal black rectangle behind me, it's a soundproof box that I record things in. So I am a voice actor that you can commission or hire to be in your things. The next time you see me, it'll probably be on Critical Misses. Spoiler alert. But until then, you can follow me on the ever-dying social media platform that can't decide its name at It's the Riddler, and on Blue Sky under the same handle. Thank you all so much for watching, and don't forget to don the power of your ring.
All right. That leaves us, the co-GMs. Hello. Darby.
No.
Me first or you
Okay.
first? Do you want to rock, paper,
You
scissors
can-
for it again?
Okay, yeah. Rock, paper, scissors. What I said. Fuck! Okay. Hi, hello, my name is Darby, otherwise known as Chaotic Darby on the internet. I'm a TTRPG performer, streamer, possum, and writer, and all-around menace on the web. You can find me on places where the handles are to be held, mostly Twitter, Blue Sky, Twitch, Tumblr, that sort of thing. I am the head of community development here at Critical Misses. I definitely didn't have to read that off of a piece of paper that I stuck to my monitor. Wow, there's a lot of hair shedding here. When I am not here, you can catch me every other Wednesday on the Neon Lights Roleplay channel. I think that's the only place that I'm appearing currently. I have some upcoming streams that I can't talk about yet because they haven't been publicized and stuff. But yeah, I will be vaguely around on the internet doing stuff and things. I'm also going to be at Big Bad Con, so if you're going to go to Big Bad Con, you should say hi to me and other people who are also going to be attending Big Bad Con. Sounding off here right now. Yes, sound off?
Maybe. I'm trying to get funds
Whoop, whoop.
together.
Whoop, whoop.
All right. Well, you can catch me
on doing several things. I'll be on the TTRPG talk show, obviously, and then some other stuff. But keep them peepers peeping on my social media because I'll be posting about that as soon as I can. So, anyways,
That leaves me.
deuces. Yeah.
I'm Anita, otherwise known as Panita or Critical Misses. I'm a TTRPG streamer, graphic designer, producer, and cat mom about the space. I am in places. You can follow me on Twitter or whatever the name of that site is now. You can find me there for stuff. And I'll tell you where I'm gonna be next. Sorry, my brain is in brain fog mode because I'm currently recovering from COVID. But you can find me places at Panita or at Critical Misses. And yeah, that's it for me, I think, for now. You can. Sorry, brain. We need to go on a raid to somewhere that's not here. So we will send everybody off. Who is
Seppi?
Seffi?
Yeah, Seffi's on.
Let's go watch Seffi play some Baldur's Gate 3. Thank you
Oh,
all
yeah.
Whoop,
again
whoop.
for watching and hanging out with us. You all have been wonderful, and this has been a blast. Until next time.
Raid didn't work. Oh, there it goes.
Oh, I got it. We will see you next time and time again. Bye, everybody.